Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Dhamma. It was indeed a very good Karma of ours that today we are able to invite Sayadaw, Jnannapurnik, to come to BGF to share the Buddha Dhamma with all of us tonight. A very short introduction of Sayadaw. He was born in Tansen, Nepal. It's a photo of, hope I managed to get the right photo of the town. Okay, it's about 90 kilometers north of Lumbini, where our Buddha was born. He was ordained as a novice at the age of 16. He's an author and translator of more than 50 books in Buddhism. In 1982, he established the Buddha Vihara and Monastery in Nashville, Tennessee, USA. Besides his missionary work around the world, he is indeed a meditation instructor. So, without further ado, on behalf of Buddhist Giant Fellowship, I would like to invite Sayadaw to lead us in observance of the 5 precepts and followed by the sharing of Dhamma.
We say Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Saranaгаmanang paripurnang Panatipada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Panatipada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Adinādana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Adinādana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Kāmesu Micchācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Kāmesu Micchācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Dhammang sadhukang surakhitam kattva appamadena sampadeta. Can you have a watch? Oh yes, okay. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Samanta cakkavalesu atra gacchantu devata saddhammang munirajassa sunantu saggamokkadang Dhamma kalo ayang bhaddanta. Dhamma kalo ayang bhaddanta. Dhamma kalo ayang bhaddanta. Manujassa pamattacharino tanha vaddhati maluvaviya soplavati hurahurang phalamiccang vavanasmi vanaroti. Reverence, Dhamma devotees, Dhamma families, Dhamma brothers and Dhamma sisters. Today is 17th of January 2019, Thursday. Being here, I feel myself very happy to meet all the Dhamma devotees, Dhamma friends, Dhamma brothers and Dhamma sisters. This is a delightful time for me. And thank you for inviting me to share the Dhamma with all the devotees and Dhamma families here. Just now I have recited one of the verses from Dhammapada text. The stanza is very meaningful stanza. Those who are practicing Dhamma well, they can understand what the stanza wants to say to us. We human beings are the very important beings in the world. Human being can do everything if they apply their mind and their heart. even they can change this world. And we are the people who encountering what the human being can do in this world. All the worldly facilities, whatever we are gaining, is the gift of human mind. Do you agree with me? Huh? Whatever facilities we are gaining as the science and technological time, all the facilities are given by not any other powerful extra being, but by the human beings. And the Buddha himself also a human being. So human beings have such a great potential power even to be a Buddha. And we are the followers of the Buddha. Do we? Yes? Then what we need to do to become a real Buddhist? What we need to do? We should try to be a real human ourselves. That is more important. If we could be a real human being, then our life is well blessed. Do you agree with me? Okay? So, such a blessed being sometimes destroyed by something. What that something? Human nature can totally change because of those things. And human being sometimes becomes, should I use the word? You shouldn't angry with me, huh? Beastly being. Sometimes we human being become beastly being. Why? Because there are certain mental attitudes which changes the actual nature of a human being. What are those natures? The Buddha said, Manujassa pamatta charino tanna vaddati maluvaviya so plavati hura hurang phalamichangva vanasmi vanaro. Very good verse. When human being addicted to careless living, and the human being is addicted with craving, grows the craving as the creeper, and the human being jumps life to life, like a monkey in the forest for fruit. What a monkey does, jumps tree to tree or place to place. The purpose is for fruit. Why the monkey jumps from one tree to another tree for fruit? Because the monkey is overpowered by the greed or by the craving. So that is why the monkey jumps from one tree to another tree. Similar way, we human beings also jumps from one life to another life because of the overpowered power of craving. Although it is just named only craving, actually the defilements. So human being becomes beastly being because of the various types of defilements. When human being becomes greedy, what they can do? We are the people, we who have proper experience when we become too greedy. What we do? We try to control at family group also. We want to possess everything ourselves. We don't want to share with our other family members. Greed influences us to possess whatever belongings are there in the family groups. Because of that, what the family members do each other one another. They quarrel, they fight, they even forget who is who. They even forget such person is my brother, such person is my father, such person is my uncle, such person is my mother, sister. They forget everything. And they hate to those who try to seize the possession, whatever he wants to possess himself. So that way the beastly nature arises in human life. And if more defilements the human being develops, if the ignorance is overwhelming to them, there again comes jealousy, stinginess, pride, prejudices, and more hatred. Hatred is the dangerous defilement which make a human being just like beast. So in this way, these unwholesome natures, unwholesome behaviors, unwholesome, impure qualities of human being destroy the human life. So that is why the Buddha gave us to practice Dhamma. We are practicing Dhamma. What Dhamma we are practicing? Mostly we are practicing, I think, Vipassana Dhamma. I am right? Huh? Do we practice Vipassana Dhamma? Vipassana Dhamma means applying mindfulness to see clearly what is going on in our body and in our mind. And we need to apply to do that one of the powerful mental state which is called sati. Sati means to be watchful whatever arises at the present moment. Because we have especially 6 senses. We have eye, we have ear, we have nose, we have tongue, we have body, and we have mind. These 6 senses are the important factors, important objects to be mindful as the Dhamma practice. When we see what we need to do, we should aware seeing. We should aware seeing as seeing. When we listen to what we need to do, listening. What we smell, we need to aware smelling. When we get the taste, tasting. When we touch something, touching. When we think about something, thinking. And this mindfulness is actually a very powerful mental energy in our life. If we could be mindful in proper way at the present moment, that mindfulness has the potential power to realize what is happening at that moment when the yogi is observing, seeing as seeing, being at the present moment. The present moment is very important. If we are really observing the seeing object which arises immediately, and the mindfulness is immediately observing it, seeing. At that time, whatever impure state of mind would be there cannot arise. Did you experience that? Huh? If we are really mindful at the present moment when we encountering the seeing object, and we are right there with mindfulness, can any kind of these impure states, impure mental aspects arises? Can? No, huh? In the same way, when we listen to something, when we smell, when we taste, when we touch, when we think, if we are mindful each and every time when the object is right present there and the mindfulness is working. That's how the mindfulness practice is so effective to drive away the defiling factors. When no defiling factors will be there, could that yogi be a real human at that time? Could? Because she didn't have any kind of impure mental state or defilements or mental corruptions. So at that time he or she is pure human being. That's how the Dhamma can make a person or being a real human being. That is the gift of the Dhamma. Single Dhamma. We don't need so many Dhammas in our life to be a human being ourselves. Just be there with the Dhamma as mindfulness. And that mindfulness guides us to vipassana. And through that vipassana, what we can realize? We can realize the real nature of life. Real nature means this life is all the time changing or all the time remaining as it is. Changing all the time changing. And when the life is changing and you don't have any power and ability to keep not to change, what will be the result of that? We don't have any control to our own life. So, when we cannot control ourselves as I own mind and matter, which is called body, there arises happiness or suffering. Suffering, isn't it? Yes? So vipassana means what? Having the realization impermanent as impermanent, suffering as suffering, and non-substantial as non-substantial. This realization, when really we experience, would there be any kind of defilement arising at that time? No, and we never think we are being. We are just the energy of mind and matter. So no self is there, and no I also there. When we are holding strongly, I am, at that time all those defilements arises because I want to possess all the possessions myself. There is the greed. And because of that greedy nature, so we develop hatred also, we develop envy also, we develop jealousy also, we develop pride also. All sorts of impurities could be developed depending on what? Depending on I. The single I can play such a vital role that it can destroy us totally, and it can lead to us to the nether world also. So to see the I is really I or not, the tool is mindfulness. Being mindful, we can realize whether there is really I or not. So, to be mindful, not to arise the I, whatever senses are there, mind and matters are there, we need to be what? Mindful. We need to be watchful. We need to be careful. We need to be observant. We need to be what? We need to see clearly being mindful. Being mindful, we can penetrate the object. And with that penetration, automatically there will be concentration. Being concentrated and being mindful, we can go deep down to the object, whether it would be material object or whether it would be mental object. Why? Because the characteristic of mindfulness is what the Abhidhamma says. Apilapana lakkana sati. In Pali. What does it mean? When real mindfulness arises, the real mindfulness, does not stay superficially only. It goes deep down to the bottom of the object. That's how it can clarify the object, whether it would be seeing or whether it would be hearing or whether it would be smelling, whatever object there may be. If our application of mindfulness is really working, really strong and powerful, that mindfulness penetrates the object and the clarity will be there to classify what is happening, what is the real reality. So the Buddha emphasized strongly in Mahasatipatthana Sutta that mindfulness can lead to the practitioner at first to purify one's mind, later on to realize the bliss of Nibbana. That is the benefit described by the Buddha in Mahasatipatthana Sutta. That's the most powerful energy of mind. If we really want to know ourselves and want to see the real reality of the life. When as a being we realize ourselves, who we are, what we are, why we are, then there will be real clarity of Dhamma. We understand Dhamma properly. When we understand Dhamma properly, at that time we don't have any feeling of self, no I. We can be everywhere to have the oneness feeling in our society. Now, all the time we are seeing, oh, that person is different from me. He is or she is not belong to me. So separation of thought arises and we cannot get together. Because I raises the pride so high. When we become proudy, can we get together with others? No, So the mindfulness easily drives pride because it sees there is no I. The self-notion is not strong at that time. And not only not strong, even we can remove totally the root of the I. That's how we become so sociable and full of metta and full of compassion and full of oneness of feeling. That is the understanding of the Dhamma. If we don't have that sort of nature, although we practice the Dhamma, I think we are not really understanding the Dhamma. We are not really encountering the Dhamma. because our self-feeling is so strong yet. And to develop real metta, to develop real compassion, what we need to remove? The single eye. I am using single eye because I am using the English word. When we write I, how we write? Only one single. So that single eye need to be uprooted. And that is where, whether we do real Dhamma practice or not, we can check. If we are really understanding the Dhamma of the Buddha, we should have feeling of oneness. No separation could arise at that time. But at the moment, do we have that sort of quality? Very difficult to bring that quality. So the Buddha said, try to be mindful for everything. Try to be mindful for everything. When you see, be mindful. When we hear, be mindful. When we smell, be mindful. When we taste, be mindful. When we touch, be mindful. When we think, be mindful. For everything, being mindful, we can easily try to remove all those impurities which lead us to beastly being. And being mindful, we reach to real human being state. That's the teaching of the Buddha. Buddha wants us to be a real human being, not just only so-called human being. At the moment, whether we are really human being or not, can you answer? Not yet. Because we are so full of defiling attitude. Even we cannot remove a little bit of greed. Can? No. Little bit of hatred? No. Little bit of delusion? No. Little bit of pride? No. We cannot say yes, because the Dhamma practice is still so weak. We cannot be really mindful. So that is why the Buddha said, Chakkhuna samvaro sadhu. It is good to restrain to the eyes. Restrain means how to restrain. Chakkhuna samvaro sadhu. It is good to restrain of eye. How to restrain? That is where the Buddha applied sati, be mindful. And that sati also not with various discriminations, no. If you see just seeing only, that moment is very important moment. Because real Dhamma is in there. So that is why the instruction also given by the Buddha, ditte ditta matang bhavishyati. When you see, just be mindful as seeing. Very powerful moment, that moment. That moment is the important moment when you can cut up all those roots of defilements and get freedom from defilement. That powerful the sati. Restraining means what? Be mindful, be observant at that time, seeing as just seeing. Hearing as just hearing, sute sutamattang bhavishyati. Very powerful instruction of the Dhamma given by the Buddha to this world. But what to do? We don't want just to follow one word of the Buddha, one technique of the Buddha. We want to taste. Sometimes this taste would be good, sometimes that taste would be good. And tasting, we lose, doesn't know which taste is what. Just tasting, going on tasting. We don't have proper trust to the Buddha, no. What the Buddha said, we don't want to listen to. And what other people will say, or something might be there, and might be, and it leads us to nowhere. So that is why the teaching of the Buddha is very simple. Very simple, If we try to find out extraordinary thing there, then we could be misguided. We could be misguided. And because of that, we don't know what to do when problem comes. If no problem, we are careless. When problem comes, what to do now? How to do now? How to solve the problem? And we are fish frying. But if we follow the one way, being mindful and having the strong understanding and realization through our own experience, that experience would be helpful, protective, and giving us right guiding. It won't mislead us. So, to have that sort of practice, everything we need to be mindful, to restrain all those senses. These 6 senses are the main roots to cause all sorts of suffering, or all sorts of problems, or all sorts of difficulties. We need to see the cause, isn't it? Suffering is there. Suffering is the result. Then what is the reason of the suffering? So then the Buddha said, the reason of the suffering is craving. Samudaya. Samudaya means all the time increasing and increasing and increasing. Making, wanting. And that is the cause of suffering, isn't it? Yes? So the Four Noble Truths also says, samudaya is cause of suffering. Samudaya means building something, creating. That brings the suffering. We want to create. See? The creation is done because of wanting. Wanting is craving. So the reason of the suffering is creating, wanting, desiring. If we want to get freedom from that, then what need to do? See the cause. See the reason. How to see? Being mindful. If we are not mindful, how to see? Cannot see. So need to be mindful. That is where the practice of mindfulness is really the guiding force to us to get rid of suffering. To get rid of suffering, first of all, it is necessary to purify the mind. Polluted mind cannot see anything. So the purification of mind is very important. To purify the mind, the power of the practice is mindfulness. Ekayano ayam bhikkhave maggo sattanang visuddhiya. That is the benefit shown by the Buddha. And that could be done being mindful only. If we are unable to be mindful, we cannot purify our mind. Without purification of mind, all other suffering natures couldn't be removed. So the instruction is, be mindful when you see, be mindful when you hear, be mindful when you smell. Chakkhuna samvaro sadhu, sadhu sotena samvaro. Good is to restrain the ear. Ear means what? Really this ear? No, the hearing quality of ear. Sota pasada it is called in Pali. And same way, we have to be mindful when we smell something. Why? When we smell, there would be two qualities, two natures. One would be the liking quality. Another would be the disgusting quality. If the smell is nice to us, this smell is so good, I want this or want this. And when we smell, foul smell, this is disgusting, I don't want. See what happened? One creates one thing, another creates hatred, ill will, not liking, disliking. So that way, the nature is totally changing if we are not mindful. When we discriminate immediately two things, one could be likable, another could be dislikable. And likable create craving, unlikable create hatred, ill will, or grudge, whatever it may be, but the spoiling the mind. So that way, the Dhamma is simple, and we need to try to follow that simple Dhamma without adding different type of masalas. Nowadays we are so fond of putting too much masala in our curry to make it nice. If you put too much masala, it spoils already. So no need to add any masala in the Dhamma. Okay? And when we are searching for what would be the best one, we are trying to add more and more masala, so the curry spoil. Okay? That is why we need to follow the practice where the powerful mental state is governing. That is mindfulness. In mindfulness, there is everything. To be mindful, we need to make effort. To be mindful, we need to have concentration. To be mindful, we need to have some certain of confidence, conviction. If we mindful really, there is the understanding. See, all the mental powers, mental energies, mental good faculties are there in mindfulness. So, Saddha Bala also there, Sati Bala also there. Sati Bala itself one of the powerful power, and Viriya Bala, Samadhi Bala, Panya Bala. See, all these balas, powers are there in the practice of mindfulness. That is why the Vipassana practice is so important for our life. Being mindful, we can realize the actual impermanent nature, actual suffering nature, actual non-substantial nature. With that realization, we can remove the defilement which lead us to beastly being. So we need to be human being following the right way of mindfulness. To be mindful, all senses should be good. Eye senses also should be good. Ear senses also should be good. Nose sense also should be good. Should be good means having the controlling power whenever we smell, whenever we taste, whenever we touch. Touching has lot of mindfulness, you see. Whole body you can be mindful from top to bottom. Everywhere, wherever you touch, touching. Whole body is the object of mindfulness. When we see, only seeing mindfulness is there. But when we say touching, bodily feeling, or it is from crown of the head to sole of the feet, everywhere the touching is there. Thousands of mindfulness we can generate being mindful the body. And the instruction is already there. Already there. We don't think touching means only one place touching. No. Whole body is the object of touching. Making the body object, thousands of mindfulness we can generate, thousands of mindfulness. Because all the body is full of sensation, full of sensation. So, being mindful on the body, strong mindfulness can be generated. Strong mindfulness. Deeply going down mindfulness. Totally penetrating mindfulness we can generate just observing the feeling of the body as touching. That is why the Goenka Ji emphasizes to observe the whole body from the top to the bottom and dividing also half here, half there. Watch at first half the body from top to the bottom and go back again from sole to the crown. And again another half of the body see in the same way. So sensation, full of sensations are there, full of sensations are there. All those sensations are the object of mindfulness. That one Dhamma gives us beautiful result as the experience of bliss of Nibbana. Whether the devotees agree with me or not. Do you agree? Then what we need to do? Practice the mindfulness. Being what? Prideless. Prideless means keeping away aila, So you do the practice, keeping away I. Don't put I here, put the I there. Then you can do the right practice. If not, no. I am everywhere I am. That gives a lot of trouble to us. Mindfulness guides us to keep away that I from our what? From our life. This body is our life, and this is our world. Samsara is here for me. Samsara is here for her. Because of this body, we are here. I am here. So I am is hidden in the body. If we try to find out where it is, nothing instrumentally can see the I, where the I is hidden in this body. Nowhere. Only mind and matter. Just to have that understanding, we need to be mindful. May all the Dhamma devotees, Dhamma families, and Dhamma friends try to see the benefit of mindfulness and do the practice properly, the mindfulness. Be mindful for everything.
Bante, do you take questions? Any questions that you want to clarify? Let's take this opportunity. We still have some time. Any question from the floor? Yes.
To practice mindfulness meditation.
Yeah, practice mindfulness is called in another word meditation.
Thank you. Any other questions? It's a very rare opportunity that Sayadaw is here, so please grab this opportunity to ask questions, to clarify whatever doubt in your mind. Okay, I'll allow you to go and digest waiting for a question. I like to try to summarize tonight's talk. I don't know, I read a lot, so I hope I'm able to summarize this one. Okay, Sayadaw is trying to tell us that don't be a beastly being. Okay, be a human. Okay, so don't jump like a monkey from tree to tree because of craving for food. So Sayadaw is trying to tell us that we as a human, we have enough from life to life. Try to jump from one life to the other life. So try to jump as soon as possible to Nibbana. Okay, then try to be being at the present moment. Okay, mindfulness. Okay, just be there wherever you are. Okay, and by being mindful, we hope to penetrate. Okay, try to penetrate ourselves by seeing impermanence impermanent, unsatisfactoriness dukkha as dukkha, okay, non-self as non-self, okay, and hopefully by able to penetrate all this, we should be able to eliminate or uproot our own ego. Yes, the I inside us, okay, and then this I is the one that always creating your other defilement like hatred, greed, and so on. So, if we are not mindful, then there's a chance that we will be creating positive sensation that will lead to greed, or negative probably will lead to hatred. Okay, so let us make aspiration to put more effort into mindfulness, so that we are able to be more mindful from time to time. Okay, and finally, that where to practice mindfulness. Okay, Sayadaw trying to say that don't go out and find anywhere. It's in our body itself. Okay, from our sensation, from the body, you should be able to find mindfulness there, and drop the I. Please drop your I. So whatever you do, drop our I, our egoistic I, and you will find more happiness in yourself. So, any questions before? Yeah.
Sir, just now you mentioned characteristic of real mindfulness. I think you mentioned what's the other one? Real character.
The characteristic of mindfulness is penetrating into, not bubbling superficially.
That's two characteristics. That's two characteristics.
No, one.
Another question, can you elaborate on oneness?
Oneness. Satipatthana way is itself oneness practice, because the Buddha himself mentioned ekayano ayang bhikkhave maggo. This is the one and only way to purify your mind as the first benefit.
Okay, Sadhu, thank you very much for your question. Okay, any more other questions for tonight? Don't be shy. Especially this is a very sensitive topic because regarding your mind, a lot of people practice and they cannot actually find real mindfulness. So you need to clarify, take this opportunity to clarify what is mindfulness to you.
Involving into the real practice, we understand what is mindfulness. Just reading and just thinking and just imagining, we cannot understand the mindfulness.
Sayadaw, I heard from one Bhante says that sati is recollection.
Sati has different meanings. The real sati, which we use as practice, that sati means observation, observing the things. Seeing clearly, observing means.
Any more questions?
Just a comment. Nowadays, a lot of people, they use the term mindfulness quite loosely. Even general mindfulness, they have hiking mindfulness, walk here, look there, I'm aware of mindfulness. But I think in the Buddhist context, when you talk about mindfulness, you talk about sati, it's samasati, which means right mindfulness. And right mindfulness means the mindfulness will be strong and thorough in order to penetrate into the nature of mind and matter. So this is the vipassana mindfulness that we're talking about, not the general mindfulness. We have a lot, MBSR, mind-based stress reduction. This is not the mindfulness which is meant in Buddhism. Just want to clarify.
Yeah, thank you. So, a lot of people have been using the word very loosely. Okay, so it's time to clarify that sati, the real meaning of sati in Buddhist context, okay, penetrating the mind.
How about mindfulness in our daily life? When you say saying, that is meditation. But our daily life?
Daily life we can apply general awareness. What you are doing or I am doing now this. Just be generally aware.
You're very relaxed.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
Okay.
So just be aware, knowing what you are doing. Okay.
Sayadaw, what's the difference between mindfulness and awareness? The difference between mindfulness and awareness.
Mindfulness is not so strong enough to get the real meaning of sati. So sati means watching carefully. That is why it is used as awareness. You aware.
Any more question? So this is two ways where you can ask question. Verify your mindfulness, your awareness, your sati.
So how do we sustain our mindfulness in daily life?
How to sustain our mind?
How to sustain? Putting into practice. As much as we practice, so much so the mindfulness sustain. Effort.
When I asked today, a friend said she would practice Pa'au, Vipassana, and Mahasi Vipassana, any difference? She couldn't practice.
That sort of question I don't want to answer.
Probably Sayadaw, I think we have to emphasize the importance of going for retreats. Some people say that we don't have to go for retreat, we can practice awareness in daily life. We can be mindful in daily life. But you must remember that when you practice in daily life, it's good to practice mindfulness in daily life, it's good. But the level of mindfulness that you develop in your daily life, you have a lot of interruptions. You do this, you do that. So, if you want to boil water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. Your daily life mindfulness may be 40 degrees centigrade or maybe less. Whereas when you go for a retreat, you develop the mindfulness and the momentum is there. So you need to reach 100 degrees in order to reach
Body
path
stage.
of diffusion. That is why it is always encouraged to go for a retreat. The importance of
I have already mentioned the way of mindfulness is shown by the Buddha himself. That is the guideline of the Buddha. Nowadays, we are so much inclined to the teachers, we forget the Buddha. That is not so good. Emphasis should be given to the Buddha, not to the teachers. The teachers couldn't be compared with the Buddha. That is the difficulties we are having. We are so much inclined to the teachers. This teacher is my teacher, that teacher is your teacher. We are fighting each other doing that, and we are not practicing really. Pride and prejudices need to be removed, not to add too much masala in it. Nowadays we are doing that. So that is why, I am belong to such teacher, you are belong to that teacher. Division is there. No metta actually. Hatred is developing. And that is not the way of the practice of the Buddha.
So be very careful that sometimes, right, Buddha is our reference, okay? Always refer back to the Buddha. I think that Sayadaw was trying to emphasize that, please, who is more blessed? Buddha is more blessed, right? Okay, any more questions? Last question? Last few questions? Don't be shy when you want to ask a question. Yeah? Any doubt, you must take it out so that the new Dhamma can go in. Okay, or else your old wrong thought will be always in your mind. Right? So take it out, ask a question. This crowd is quite quiet. So either they're all enlightened or what? Okay. So before we end, we will tonight main take back or tapao, Chinese is called tapao, will be just be there. Just be there. Be mindful. Okay. So with that, we'd like to request Sayadaw to probably give us a blessing or maybe aspiration together.
I think we share the merit. Okay. Idang no nyati nang hotu sukhita ontu nyatayo. Idang no nyati nang hotu sukhita ontu nyatayo. Idang no nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Ettavata ammehi sampadang punya sampadang sambe dewa anumodantu samba sampati siddhya ettavataca ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sambe satta anumodantu samba sampati siddhya ettavadaca ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sambe bhuta anumodantu samba sampati siddhya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So let's just kneel down, pay respect, thanks Sayadaw for the very important talk tonight. Okay. So we'll also thanks all the devotees for tonight. Try to be here beside all your very, very busy schedule and the time, variable time. We hope that you really benefited from this simple Dhamma talk. Again, and the feedback, your tapao, remember to be mindful, and when you go back, please be mindful. Okay, when you're driving, please be mindful, and I rest sure that you will find that you are slowly going to eliminate your defilements and so on. Okay, so. So before we leave, you can help to arrange the cushion back, and then let Sayadaw, back. Thank you very much and good night.